Welcome to our GEO Guide, Part 10, How to Measure GEO Success.
Glad to be here for this one. It's a huge topic.
It really is. So I want you to imagine this for a second. You wake up, you pour your morning coffee, and you open up Google Search Console.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Right. And you see that your organic traffic has just dropped by like 40%. Your boss is immediately pinging you on Slack, absolutely panicking.
Which is pretty much the standard reaction, yeah.
Exactly. But then you go and look at your CRM and your actual revenue, your sales are actually up.
It's totally wild.
How is that even possible, right? Well, today we are unpacking the brilliant insights from Jörg-Owe essay on measuring generative engine optimization.
And we really need to emphasize that we are drawing exclusively from Schneppat's Chapter 10 text today. It is essentially the ultimate roadmap for solving this exact mystery.
It is. The mission for this deep dive is to really help you understand how AI-powered search is just completely rewriting the rules of online visibility, like top to bottom.
Totally. If you're managing a site right now and you're sweating over dropping traffic, Schneppat's work proves why you shouldn't panic. You just need a completely new lens for your analytics.
Yeah, that scenario we just mentioned, dropping traffic but rising revenue, that is kind of the defining paradox of this whole AI search era.
It really is. I mean, we've spent the last 2 decades being conditioned to look at a very specific set of numbers, like clicks and sessions.
Right, and just demanding that those lines go up and to the right on the graph.
Exactly. But Jörg-Owe core thesis here is that the fundamental difference between classic SEO and GEO is the user journey itself. AI search has completely fractured that journey.
Fractured it. Okay, let's unpack this. Because Schneppatz lays out this paradigm shift so beautifully.
He really does. He argues that the new game is all about visibility before the click.
Right, because in traditional SEO, the path is basically a straight pipeline. A user types a query, your page ranks, they click the blue link, and boom, the visit hits your analytics dashboard.
And maybe they buy something. It's a very closed, highly attributable loop, totally linear.
But Schneppatz is saying GEO is, well, actually, my analogy is that traditional SEO is like tracking people walking through the front door of your physical store.
Oh, I like that.
Right. But Schneppat's framework makes GEO sound more like word-of-mouth marketing at a party. The AI is the person at the party recommending your brand.
Yes. The customer already trusts you before they ever even walk into the store.
Exactly. The AI does the socializing.
That's a perfect way to look at it, because in an AI-powered search landscape, that straight pipeline just shatters. An AI generates an overview, it summarizes your original research, and the user just reads that summary right there on the search results page.
They get the info they need and they leave without ever clicking your link.
Exactly. And in Google Analytics, that looks like a total failure.
Right. It looks like a lost session, a bounce before they even arrived.
But it's not a failure.
Right.
And that is Schneppat's central revelation here. The user read your brand name in that AI summary. You established authority.
So they remember you.
Yeah. And then like 3 days later, that same user is actually ready to make a purchase. So they bypass the search engine entirely, type your URL directly into their browser, and buy.
Wow. So you influence them, but the attribution is completely disconnected.
Completely. The analytics platform just records it as quote-unquote direct traffic, completely blind to the fact that an AI overview seeded that conversion days earlier.
Visibility happened before the click.
Exactly. So Jörg-Owe big takeaway here is that judging your GEO success only by short-term organic traffic volume is a massive strategic mistake.
Because you're missing the whole picture.
Right. Traffic matters, obviously, but you now have this broader, invisible layer of influence that is harder to track but incredibly valuable.
Which honestly brings up a huge dilemma for anyone listening who has to manage these dashboards. Like, what do we do with all our traditional SEO metrics then?
Yeah, all those automated reports we've built around impressions and clicks and average position.
Do we just throw them away?
Well, Schneppatz is adamant about this. We do not throw them away. Generative engines still rely on the exact same foundation as traditional search.
Because the LLMs need accessible, indexable content to ingest, right?
Exactly. If your site is technically broken and Googlebot can't read it, the AI certainly can't summarize it.
Okay, I need to push back on this a little bit, though.
Sure.
Because Jörg-Owe says classic ranking positions still matter. But if an AI overview is taking up, like, the entire top half of the screen on my phone, essentially giving the user the final answer.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Why should I care if my standard blue link is in position number 1?
Go.
Doesn't position 1 effectively become position 5? It feels like tracking classic rankings is just vanity metrics at this point.
And that is the exact frustration so many marketers are feeling right now. But Schneppat addresses this nuance brilliantly. He notes that ranking positions still serve a critical diagnostic purpose.
Okay, diagnostic how?
They show you your competitive visibility. They tell you if you were even allowed on the playing field. Like if you drop from position 2 to position 50, you have a fundamental problem that will also kill your AI visibility.
Oh, I see.
But Schneppat emphasizes that the strategic question has shifted. It is no longer where do we rank? It is now, are we being used, trusted, and chosen as a source by the AI in this new experience?
So the classic metrics are basically the baseline health check, not the actual finish line anymore.
Exactly. And Schneppat actually provides a really handy diagnostic guide for this. He says if you open Search Console tomorrow and see your impressions declining sharply, you have a real traditional search visibility issue.
Like you're actively losing ground.
Yeah, maybe due to an algorithm update or some technical error on the site. A sharp drop in impressions is a major red flag.
But what if they aren't dropping?
That's the pivot. Schneppat says if your impressions are stable, meaning you are still showing up in the results, the AI is still surfacing your domain, but your clicks decline.
Then you don't panic.
Exactly. Take a breath. Stable impressions with declining clicks likely means users are just getting their answer directly from the AI result. They see your brand, they digest your info, they just don't need to click through for the deep dive at that exact second.
Okay, think about the mechanics of how that alters your click-through rate, or CTR. Under the old rules, if your CTR dropped from 10% to 2%, you assumed your title tag was garbage.
You'd be frantically rewriting all your meta descriptions.
Yes. But now, Jörg-Owe points out that a lower CTR is perfectly acceptable, provided the remaining clicks convert at a higher rate.
What's fascinating here is how he reframes that dropping CTR. Let's actually map out the math on that, because Schneppat's point changes how we view traffic quality entirely.
Okay, let's hear the math.
Imagine you used to get 100 clicks on a query. 80 of those people just wanted a quick definition, realized your 2,000-word article was too dense, and bounced immediately.
Right, very common.
20 people stayed, and 2 actually bought your product. Now, fast forward. The AI overview answers the basic definition for those 80 casual browsers. They get what they need, they never click, your traffic plummets by 80%, your CTR absolutely tanks.
Which looks terrifying on a chart.
It looks awful, but those 20 high-intent users, they still click through because they need the deep, nuanced expertise that only your full article provides. You still get your 2 sales.
Oh, wow. So your conversion rate on that specific page just skyrocketed.
Exactly. Because the AI acted as a filter, it basically scrubbed the low-intent top-of-funnel traffic out of your pipeline.
That makes so much sense. And that is why Jörg-Owe insists that evaluating CTR in a vacuum is super dangerous now. We have to interpret our old metrics through this new filter.
We do.
But Schneppat also introduces an entirely new category of measurement that specifically tracks the AI itself, right? Which he calls tracking the invisible.
Yeah, AI visibility.
Yeah.
And Schneppat calls it one of the most important areas to measure, while fully admitting it is currently one of the hardest.
Because generative answers are notoriously volatile.
Right. So volatile. They change based on the user's geolocation, their previous prompt history, even the subtle phrasing of their question. You just cannot track it with the same rigid precision as a classic keyword ranking.
So how do we actually do it? Jörg-Owe outlines manual testing as the first line of defense, I think.
He does. You actually have to go into ChatGPT, into Perplexity, into Google's AI overviews, and physically run the queries yourself.
But you have to do it neutrally, right? He stresses that. You can't just prompt the AI with, tell me why my brand is the best solution for X.
Oh, absolutely not. That ruins the test. You have to use the actual prompts your customers use, like what are the core features to evaluate when buying X, or compare the top tools for Y.
Neutrality and consistent tracking over time, that seems to be paramount in Schneppat's framework.
You are looking for patterns, not a single snapshot in time. You record the dates, record the platforms, and crucially track the citations.
Right, citation tracking is his second solution.
Exactly. When you run those neutral tests, is the AI actively linking to your specific URLs as the source material for its answer? Or are they citing your competitors?
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Jörg-Owe framework gets really demanding here. He says we need to track unlinked brand mentions.
Meaning the AI recommends you, but doesn't actually provide a clickable link.
Yeah. And look, if I'm managing a lean marketing team, I do not have a $100,000 budget for some enterprise AI listening software to scrape every single LLM output.
Very few do.
So how are we realistically supposed to track these unlinked mentions at scale?
It is a very real operational challenge. And without that massive enterprise software, Jörg-Owe points towards scrappy, indirect correlation.
Okay, scrappy how?
You track your manual test results in a spreadsheet, right? You note when your brand is recommended without a link, and then you cross-reference that with your brand search demand in Google Search Console.
Ah, so you look for the ripple effect.
It's exactly the ripple effect. Schnepphat argues that an increase in people searching directly for your company name or your proprietary product names or even your specific authors, that is a massive indirect GEO signal.
So if you know you're being cited as a top recommendation in some popular AI tool for, I don't know, local SEO,
And then suddenly you see a 20% spike in users Googling your brand name directly.
you can correlate that unlinked AI visibility to bottom line brand awareness.
You got it. Jörg-Owe also highlights direct referral traffic from AI platforms as well, though.
Okay, so this is traffic coming straight from a conversational AI tool where there actually was a link.
Right. But he warns us very clearly not to judge this traffic by its volume. You might look at your analytics and see 50,000 sessions from Google Organic and only like 50 sessions from a platform like Perplexity.
And under an old SEO mindset, you would completely ignore those 50 sessions as statistically insignificant.
You'd think it was a waste of time. But Schnepphat completely rejects that. He explains that referral traffic from an AI assistant comes with astronomically high intent.
Well, think about the user journey there. By the time someone clicks the citation link inside an AI chat, they have already read the summary. They've probably already asked follow-up questions.
Exactly. They are clicking through because they specifically need to verify a complex data point or they're just finally ready to book a demo.
So one click from an AI referral could easily be worth 100 casual clicks from a traditional informational search.
Without a doubt. Which forces a radical shift in how we evaluate our content. Because AI platforms send less volume but much higher intent, Jörg-Owe issues a pretty stark warning here.
Which is?
We must pivot our focus entirely from traffic quantity to conversion quality. If you are tracking GEO success, the ultimate metrics are the leads, the booked meetings, the sales.
Quality over quantity. So when it comes to the actual pages we are publishing on our sites, how do we measure if our content is even capable of generating that kind of high-intent citation?
That's the million-dollar question. And Jörg-Owe doesn't just leave us with abstract theory here. He introduces a qualitative review process.
He demands that we manually score our pages, which I think is fascinating because it forces us to actually step away from the analytics dashboard and look at the words on the screen.
Analytics can tell you a page is failing, but Schnepphat's qualitative review tells you why. He lays out very specific criteria to score your content's AI worthiness.
Because when an LLM parses a page, it is basically looking for efficient entity extraction, right?
Exactly. So Schnepphat asks, are your core definitions crystal clear? Are they positioned right at the top of the page? Are your claims supported by original data, or are you just recycling the same generic advice as everyone else?
And trust signals are a huge component of his audit framework, too. And AI really wants to cite authoritative sources to avoid hallucination.
It needs to trust the source. So Schnepphat says we need to check. Is the author clearly visible with an expert bio? Is there a transparent last updated date?
Are you using structured tables and bulleted lists? Things an LLM can easily extract and format into its own overview.
Yes, the formatting is huge. He suggests auditing your core pages and literally rating them weak, acceptable, strong, or excellent against these specific AI-friendly criteria.
And we don't just do this in a vacuum, right? This qualitative measurement extends to your competitors.
Oh, Jörg-Owe insists on competitor audits. If your manual testing reveals that an AI continually prefers to cite a competitor's guide over yours, you have to dissect their page.
Like, do they have more comprehensive data tables? Are they structuring their headings in a way that creates a clearer semantic hierarchy?
You're trying to reverse engineer why the LLM assigned a higher confidence score to their content over yours.
Which plays directly into another major concept from Jörg-Owe chapter, which is topic clusters.
Yes. This completely changes how we measure success on a site-wide level. You really cannot just look at the performance of one isolated blog post anymore.
Because generative AI systems evaluate broader topical authority, Schnepphat explains that an LLM is trying to map entity relationships.
Right. If you want to be cited as the definitive source for, say, how to measure GEO, The AI evaluates your entire domain's coverage of that subject.
It wants to see a dedicated hub page linked to supporting pages like GEO versus SEO and local business GEO and AI referral traffic analysis.
So the internal link strength between those pages essentially becomes a measurable GEO metric. Jörg-Owe says you have to measure the total impressions and the combined visibility across that entire cluster of related pages.
Because if your cluster is tightly interlinked with clear, descriptive anchor text, you are basically drawing a map for the AI, proving your comprehensive expertise.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is a truly holistic system. Schneppat's measurement framework incorporates content quality, brand authority, topic clusters, and critically technical access.
Technical access. Okay, he dedicates a portion of Chapter 10 to server log analysis.
He does.
Now, I know server log analysis sounds like the most painfully dry topic imaginable. Most marketers never even touch their server logs. Why does Schneppat elevate this as a crucial GEO metric?
Because the basic mechanism of crawling has evolved. Jörg-Owe points out that all your brilliant topic clusters and all those qualitative content upgrades, they mean absolutely nothing if the AI bots cannot physically access the pages.
Oh, right. Because AI companies deploy specific user agents now, like ChatGPT user or Claude bot or Perplexity bot.
Exactly. And Schneppat notes that reviewing your server logs shows you exactly which of these AI bots are actually hitting your site, what pages they prioritize, and crucially, if your server's firewall is accidentally blocking them.
That is a massive point. A lot of default security settings treat rapid, unknown bot traffic as some kind of scraper attack and just block it.
Happens all the time. And if you aren't measuring your server logs, you could literally be blocking the very AI you are trying to get cited by, and you would never see it in Google Analytics.
Wow. Precisely why Jörg-Owe includes it. So look at what we have assembled here. It's a lot. We have traditional metrics like stable impressions and filtered CTR.
We have manual AI visibility tests and citation tracking.
We have brand search demand as an indirect signal.
We have qualitative content scores, topic cluster performance, and server log bot hits.
It is a mountain of disparate data. Honestly, how does Jörg-Owe recommend we actually organize this without drowning in spreadsheets and losing our minds?
By enforcing strict simplicity, Schneppat strongly advocates for building a unified, streamlined GEO dashboard. He warns against complexity. You do not need a dashboard with 50 different widgets that you stare at every day.
Thank goodness. So Jörg-Owe suggests consolidating just the vital signs. Keep it simple.
Very simple. Track your top organic landing pages. Track the year-over-year CTR delta. Pull in your AI referral traffic specifically. Chart your brand search volume from Search Console.
And then right next to that quantitative data, keep a running log of the pages cited during your manual AI tests.
Bringing the quantitative and qualitative together in one view. But Schneppat argues that the rhythm of your measurement is honestly just as important as the dashboard itself.
What do you mean by rhythm?
Well, the AI landscape is too volatile for daily monitoring. If you check your AI citations every single morning, the natural fluctuations will drive you to make panicked, terrible decisions.
Okay, so what does Jörg-Owe recommend instead?
He lays out very specific measurement rhythms to prevent that panic. He suggests checking technical health like those server logs and indexation statuses weekly. You need to know immediately if a firewall rule broke your site.
That makes sense. Weekly for the technicals.
Then you shift to a monthly rhythm for reviewing your traffic trends, your impressions, and running your manual AI visibility tests. That gives the data enough time to actually smooth out anomalies.
And then quarterly.
A quarterly rhythm for the heavy lifting, executing your qualitative content audits and really dissecting competitor movements.
Which brings us to the traps Jörg-Owe warns us to avoid, because it is so easy to fall back into old habits or just misunderstand these new tools entirely.
The biggest one, the most common mistake he highlights, is relying on a single AI prompt on a single day and treating it as gospel.
Oh yeah, you see people post screenshots on LinkedIn all the time like, look, ChatGPT recommended me.
Right, but it's a fatal flaw in GEO measurement. As we discussed, LLM outputs are highly dynamic. One prompt proves absolutely nothing about your overall visibility.
And what's the other big trap?
Continuing to measure only traffic volume while ignoring those indirect brand signals, and most importantly, ignoring the conversion rate of the traffic that actually does arrive.
Right. Judging your entire GEO strategy based on one AI prompt or 1 week of dropping traffic is basically like judging the entire climate based on the weather outside your window for 5 minutes.
That's exactly it. You are missing the macro trend by zooming in on the noise. You have to look at the longer, broader trends that Jörg-Owe framework provides.
So, to kind of synthesize Yorgo Schneppat's ultimate practical lesson from Chapter 10.
Measuring GEO is no longer an exercise in counting clicks. It requires a much broader, more strategic view of your brand's digital footprint. Success is trusted visibility. It's unlinked brand mentions in AI summaries.
It's the strength of your topical clusters.
Yes, it is higher lead quality from filtered traffic. The user journey now begins long before they ever click a link to your site, which means your measurement strategy must actively look for the signals that happen before the click as well.
It is a total mindset shift from traffic capture to authority distribution.
And adopting that mindset raises an important question we all have to grapple with moving forward.
Let's hear it.
If the AI becomes the ultimate omniscient gatekeeper of information, and we are now measuring our success by how efficiently it extracts and cites our data, how do we ensure our brand's unique personality and voice aren't completely lost when we are inevitably reduced to just a sterile bullet point in an AI summary?
Wow, that is a fantastic and honestly slightly terrifying thought to leave you all with today. How do you stay distinctly you when the AI is doing all the talking on your behalf? Mull that over as you look at your own metrics and build out your GEO dashboards this week. That wraps up our deep dive into Chapter 10 of Jörg-Owe Schneppat's brilliant work. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to visit bluetreew.com for more resources and join us next time as we conclude this series with Chapter 11, Final GEO Action Plan. See you then.